Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Casey and welcome to my February reset. I can't believe it is a new month. I feel like I say that every month, anytime that I do a reset, but genuinely I feel like time is flying, but now it is the dead of winter in New York City, and this is when time stops flying. For me personally, I feel like the winter is a pretty tough time. I'd say that like January, February, March are some of the toughest months for me, not only mentally, but even physically, just finding the motivation to get outside and finding the motivation to be creative. It's just really tough for me. I think as someone who grew up in Florida and I love sunlight and I love beaches, it's hard. I have honestly tried filming this February reset multiple times and I just haven't been able to go through with it. And I think the reality of like a reset video is that you have to reset yourself too in order to make the content. And I think that in the winter months, like I said, it's really hard to find that motivation. So I figured this time when I hit record, maybe we could just be honest about that. And I'm gonna sprinkle in some tips on how I kind of shake off the winter blues, kind of things that I've learned throughout the years that have helped me that I think are super relevant as we're heading into this new month. I'm also gonna share some of my digital planning with you guys. This is my first month digital planning. So I'm going from like a large physical calendar to doing everything on an iPad. It's been a huge learning curve. But at the same time, I think it's been really fun to challenge myself and to have something to like focus on. And then I'm also just gonna share with you guys like general things that I do to reset each month. So let's get into it. So one of the first things that I like to do when I start a new month is to just clean. And I feel like a lot of people do this. This goes without saying. I think that a reset, a refresh, it's so nice to start with a clean space. I'm definitely one of those people where when my space feels messy, my mind feels messy. I feel like I need a tidy space in order to feel at peace and to relax. With that being said, tidying a space, cleaning an entire space, even a small apartment can be overwhelming. If you're someone like me that gets overwhelmed with that, I find it so helpful to split things up. I think doing, cleaning your bathroom one day and then doing your laundry in a couple of days helps instead of just doing like a full reset day into the month. I like to take the week before the month starts to just do small tasks every day so that when I get to the start of the month, I have completed them and I feel good. Starting out the month with clean linens is a huge game changer for me. So I always like to wash our towels and everything to start off the month. Another thing that I really like to do, and this is more like seasonally, I wouldn't say I do it every month, but it's doing a bedding refresh. Obviously like washing your sheets and all that stuff, but I like to have like fun patterns of sheets. I like to keep my bedding pretty neutral, but I always like to have some fun patterns on the sheets. So I went ahead and changed our sheets to a floral pattern. I know it's not spring yet, but I also feel like this is our home and we can do whatever we want in our home. So I ended up putting some floral sheets. And then another thing I highly recommend is getting for your throw pillows, like pillow inserts and then the pillow covers that you can change. Instead of having to buy new throw pillows every single time or being stuck with the same ones, you can swap them out based on the season. So I had some green ones that we had on for Christmas. I went ahead and ordered these like cream colored ones for spring, and I really like how they match with the florals. And again, it's just a little refresh. It's like a pop of something new in your space. Along with the cleaning and all that, I also like to empty out the fridge and go through the pantry lightly, not like a full, I'm not taking everything out and then like, sitting on the floor and being like, why did I do this? I'm just doing like a browse of things that I have, looking through if some things are expired and making a list of any new things that we ran out of. Like I think we need apple cider vinegar, we need more paper towel. And so I'll write that all down in a list. Another thing I like to do is go through my makeup. I have like a big just like makeup bin that has all of my daily makeup. And then I have like an overflow little pouch where I put any makeup that I'm not using as regularly, and I'm constantly swapping things out. I think this is also really helpful for someone with like a makeup shopping addiction. I like, typically I'm not thinking about makeup all the time, but when I head into a Sephora, when I set foot into a Sephora, I black out. Like, it's unhealthy. So if I can avoid setting foot in a Sephora store, that is what I like to do. So it's fun because at the beginning of each month, I go through that overflow makeup bag that I have, and I'll kind of look through and I'll be like, oh, I forgot about this thing that I used to use a couple months ago, but then kind of stopped using. Let me try it again. And I will put that back in. And it also helps me to have inventory of everything that I have, so that when I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see a video of someone using a lip oil, I'm like, you actually don't need a lip oil because you have one right here. So it's productive and cost effective. Another thing I've been spending my time doing to reset for February is doing a digital calendar, and I have had so much fun. As I said, there's definitely been challenging, like very frustrating parts with the learning curve of going from a physical, like big calendar to a digital planner, but I've had so much fun with it. I think even if you're a beginner, there's so much to learn. And the actual templates that I have, even if you don't have an iPad and even if it's not digital, I just think that they've really helped for me to set a routine for myself. So I'm gonna take you guys through a little tour of what my digital planner looks like. Okay, so we're at my desk and I'm gonna take you guys through what my digital planning looks like. So if we click my little 2024 planner icon there, it will bring up my calendar for the whole month of February, which I already got started on. This is my first month digital planning, so it was definitely a learning curve. I'd say this whole page took me around like 2 hours to make, but I'm really proud of myself. I learned so many new things within Goodnotes, and this is a template that I imported into Goodnotes. The template is from Flourish Planner. I'll put her channel down below. You can download it from her website. You do have to purchase it, but so far I'm really loving it. I learned how to insert cute little icons in Goodnotes. You want to press this little star up top here. And there's a bunch of options that come with Goodnotes, but you can also purchase your own sticker packs. Like I purchased this one and I also purchased this one. I just felt like they were my style, and they would bring me joy when they popped up in the calendar. And they were each like, I think $1.99. So to get to those, you just press this little marketplace button, and that'll take you to the marketplace. There's planners, stickers, all of that stuff, and you can kind of just look through and see what catches your eye. But back to my planner, my favorite part of digital planning is just the full month overview. I feel like it really clears my mind. I loved putting this together, even though it took me a really long time. But I added a bunch of YouTube icons. I found this photo just on Pinterest and added some cute little like things on the side that I thought was really cute. I found this little Pachaco credit card icon on Pinterest that I'm using for when I'm paying my bills. And yeah, I kind of just played around and I had a great time. I highly recommend doing this if you're getting into digital planning too. If we go to the next page, this is the weekly plan. I like this one, I'd say the least out of all of the planning. As you can tell, there's barely anything on this page, but I think I like this next page. So the actual day-to-day planning and the full month planners are my favorite ones. So I'm still deciding if I'm going to keep the weekly one, but since this is my first time doing digital planning, I really want to try it all. But if we head on over to the daily one, I've never really been someone that's, done a daily plan. Today was actually the first time that I did this, but I've been having a lot of fun trying new things and seeing what I like and what I don't like, especially with using the iPad. And I really like this. So I woke up this morning, I sat at my desk and I immediately just kind of wrote down a mini plan for the day. So I have like wake up, log on, do work, film, brainstorm for tomorrow, and I color coded everything. So if something is orange, it's for work. If it's in this like lavender blue color, it's for personal. And if it's in this reddish color, it's for YouTube. And then I also really like that she has a section up here where you can do what your focus for the day is, what your gratitude for the day is, and what your self-care is for the day. And we can add in our little stickers together. I saved those so that we could do them together. But like I said, if you head up here, you can look at all of the different stickers that you've saved. And I think I spotted a hot chocolate one earlier. Oh, there she is. So cute. And then you can pretty much just resize the hot chocolate, the impact that you want the hot chocolate to have on your day. But I'm probably going to put it just right over there. I think that's cute. And then down here in the reminders area, I've just been using it to put cute little stickers or things that I found from Pinterest that will inspire me and motivate me for the day. I really liked this like pigeon on a skateboard that says you're doing great. And then we can add one in together so I can show you guys how I do that. So on the side here, I have my camera roll, and I love it because you can swipe it in and out. And the way that you do that is by pressing this 3 little dot button up at the top, and you want to make sure it's toggled on slide over, and that will let you slide over any app while your Goodnotes app is opened. And I've just found that this is super helpful, especially when I'm trying to add in photos. So continuing with the hot chocolate train, I'm going to add this photo in, which says today is a hot chocolate kind of day. So I'm going to drag that in and then slide the photo page back. You can resize the hot chocolate like we had talked about, and something that's really fun about adding your own photos is that you can crop them and you can freehand crop them. So instead of rectangle like a typical crop, you can click freehand and you can kind of just, I like wonky lines, so I like when things look a little bit messy. So just freehand it however you want. You can press done and then see it exports it, like, you know, with the little wonky lines that I did. So there's our little hot chocolate, and I feel when I come back to look at my schedule, if I'm like feeling overwhelmed or anything like that, I can look down at this little area and be like, okay, I'm doing great, and it's a hot chocolate kind of day. Another part of the digital planner that I'm really looking forward to doing is the vision board, which I clearly haven't gotten started on yet, but I like to just open up Pinterest, look through things that I have saved on my vision board already, or just look for new photos and stuff and make a whole vision board. I'm really excited. Okay, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like done. And I also love to make my vision boards the background of my iPad. I feel like every time I open it, it just makes me happy. I have a bunch of, you know, digital planning stuff, 13 going on 30, Jennifer Garner energy in my pajamas, some cute little pizza hearts for Valentine's Day, groceries and stuff like that. And yeah, I really like how it turned out. And then this page I really like because it's a habit tracker, but it's basically like a visual habit tracker. So my habits for February, I want to go outside, post on YouTube, cook at home. I'm trying to do not like a full no buy, but just be more thoughtful with my purchases and to go into the office more. And so with all of these little days, it's like the first day of the month, second day of the month, and you can pick a pen color and kind of scribble in when you've completed that task for the day. So the idea is that by the end of the month, you can kind of see like, oh, I went outside every single day, which is pretty cool. And you very much don't need an iPad to do these things. I feel like this is such a great thing to even have on paper. I'm someone that really just appreciates visual progress. I have my monthly to-do list down here, and then same thing with the stickers, just putting some fun ones over here. Another thing that I've been doing digitally during my resets is working on my YouTube content. So I keep my like content calendar, very loose term, on my notes. I basically just have a giant notes on my phone in the Notes app, just a note full of ideas that I have, dates that I have. It's very disorganized. I want to think of a new system for this, but I'll go through all of these ideas and kind of flesh out the ones that I know I want to do in this month, add some more notes in there, whatever I want to put. And then I've also been using this Freeform app, which is actually an Apple app that came with the actual iPad, but I used it to do a little bit of like a brainstorm session. I saw this on Flourish Planner's YouTube channel as well. I seriously have learned so much about not only the iPad, but Goodnotes and organizing and everything like that. So I basically did it for this video. I wrote February reset, and then I put all of my sub ideas in here and kind of fleshed them out. And it was nice to just like write everything down and be messy with it. There's a bunch of different tools on the bottom. The crayon is honestly my personal favorite, but you can use a mechanical pencil. You can also type things out if you'd like. And that's pretty much my like whole setup for now of the things that I have on my iPad. Another thing that I like to do, I don't do this on my iPad, but I have like a little Excel document, is that I like to do a budget overview. I sit down every 2 weeks when I get my paycheck and I pay my bills. I'll sit down, like Ryan and I will sit down and we'll kind of go through the expenses that we have. But at the beginning of the month, I like to do, like I said, just a big overview of everything. If I have an upcoming expense or if I have like an upcoming trip coming up, I can look at and track the progress that I've made, see if I'm gonna meet my goal for it. Do I need to kind of, switch around how much I save each paycheck? I used to be really intimidated by finances. That was something that I really tackled in 2023. It was a huge goal of mine and it really paid off. And I'm excited going into 2024. So now it's something that excites me. But I think if it's something that overwhelms you, just checking your bank account, like just checking it, because I know there was a time when even opening the app stressed me out. Even getting yourself to that point where you can show up for yourself and you can just open the app and look at what you're working with is helpful in and of itself. And then on the subject of check-ins, I like to have a check-in with Ryan. So we'll sit down and I'll be like, look at my beautiful calendar that I made, and I'll show him all my stickers and take him on a tour. But then I also kind of go through the big events that we have for that month, things that we have coming up. And then what I really like is that we kind of sit down and reflect together. So I'll be like, what was your favorite thing that happened last month? Or what's something that you're looking forward to in this month? What are some of your goals for this month? I think especially when you're sharing a space with someone and you're living with someone, it's so important. Communication is obviously super important, but I also just really love like knowing what Ryan's goals are and where his mind's gonna be at for this next month. And the same with him knowing mine. And those are pretty much my like basics for each month that I go into to reset. For the winter months specifically, so January, February, March, I'm gonna go through some of those tips that I was talking about of things that have helped me, and hopefully you can relate to some of them and maybe some of them can help you. So first of all, I'm someone that loves to travel. I think that trips are something that I really look forward to. I love planning trips. They bring me a lot of joy. And so I think that it's so much fun to plan a trip during the winter that you can go on during the winter. So for me personally, I'm doing a girls trip with my friend Emily. I can't wait. We're going to Disney, and I purposely picked for this trip to be in February. It got pushed back a little bit to March, but because I know that the winter is so tough here, I was like, how about I plan one of my trips for this year for where I can be in sunshine and running around with a little bit of magic. If you're not able to get away during those months for a long period of time, then I think just planning to try something new can also be a huge game changer. I think a big part of the winter for me is that it kind of just drags out and the days all kind of start to feel the same, especially when it's been a week of no sun. So I think if you can sprinkle in like a new experience, something to kind of like get your brain going and to get excited, whether that be trying a new restaurant or even like driving somewhere new if you're somewhere where you can drive a car, but even like taking the train to a different neighborhood, just trying something new. Next on here I have, you can tell what mindset I was in when I wrote this list: plan a future trip to look forward to, preferably a tropical one. So as I mentioned, I grew up in Florida. I feel like I love being in the sun, being near a beach, which is so funny because when I was younger, I hated going to the beach. I feel like I always felt so self-conscious being in a bikini and a bathing suit, and I was so in my head. And now getting older, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I just want to be at the beach running around. It's that grass is greener mindset. So I miss, living near beach weather all of the time. But I think we want to do a vacation in the summer, a tropical one. And so I'm already starting to like think of different places that we could go to. And if you're not in a place where you can plan a trip, you can go on a tropical trip on your couch, which is something that I do too. I love to listen to different ambiances. I put them on while I'm like sitting on the couch. So I will make a Shirley Temple. I'll mix it on up, homemade Shirley Temple, and I'll sit down on the couch and I'll look up like tropical beach ambiance. And Ryan will come out and it's literally just like waves on the shore and like a little cabana. And that's where I am. For anyone asking, like I am on a beach in the middle of winter in New Jersey. My next one is to go outside, even if it's just for 10 minutes. I always talk about this, but just going outside to get hopefully some sun, but if not, even to just get some air, to get your body moving, I think is so helpful. I also have lean into winter. I know that I've been talking a lot about kind of escaping winter, but I think there's something to be said about how beautiful the winter is. I think snow is so beautiful, especially coming from Florida. I feel like whenever I see the snow, I'm still like a kid on Christmas morning. The other day, Ryan and I were both working working from home and it was snowing. And so I pulled our bed out, I like fluffed up our pillows, I grabbed some twinkle lights and strung them up, and we just laid down in bed with our laptops as we watched the snow fall, and it was magical. And the setup took me all of 5 minutes. I love cooking in general, but I think that cooking in the winter is so nice, feeling like you can just provide for yourself and feed yourself and warm yourself up. I love so much. I have some soup recipes that I really love, and I'll kind of keep those on rotation. I can share some in the description. Let me know if you guys want some of those. And if you're not in a place where you want to cook for yourself or you're willing to cook for yourself, I think just finding those like favorite meals that you have that are hearty, warm meals that just kind of make you feel all happy and warm inside, those are game changers. I also wrote down, try to schedule going out days where you go outside with a purpose. Ryan and I have started doing like Friday date night, which sounds so cliche, like Friday night date nights, but we love them. The rule for this date night is that the first portion of it cannot be something that's at home. So we can come back home and watch a movie after, but we have to go and eat dinner somewhere else, or we have to go on a walk together before or something. And I think that it really helps us to motivate each other to get out of the apartment. And the next one I wrote in here is to get a therapist. And that was something that I feel like I had never had a therapist until I moved to New York, well into New York, like 3 years or something. And the first time that I saw a therapist was in the winter months. And I had reached out and I was like, I've just kind of got those winter blues. And it was just such a game changer to have someone to talk to. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I think it's so important to have those conversations. And if all of these things sound too overwhelming, I think that the least that you can do for yourself, the least that I do for myself, is to just make myself a hot cup of cocoa, to just make a hot cup of chocolate, to sit down on the couch and to just try and have some gratitude for this season of life that you're in, as cheesy as it sounds. And if you are somewhere on a tropical beach right now watching this, I am very jealous, but very happy for you. I hope you guys all have a great start to your February and do the reset that is right for you, that works for you. Thanks so much for sticking around and for being a part of mine, and I'll see you in the next one.